Testing one, two, three. What's up, everybody? Just waiting to go live here on Instagram. But welcome to the first episode of What's in Your Earbuds on the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network. I'm here with my friend and the online host, Joe Harden. How's it going, Joe?
What's up? What's up? Good. Glad to be here.
I'm excited to have you here.
Yeah.
I gotta give Joe the full credit here. He was the first person to bring up the what's idea, and it's just music is just such a big part of what we do in endurance sports. And we were just in the green room talking about it. You put it in such a good way, mentioning that gateway into somebody's.
Yeah. I guess the background of this idea, like kind of what made this idea come to be in my mind, is I always wonder what someone's listening to when I see them in the gym or like on the trail or like on the road. So it's like always the big question is like, what do you think they're listening to? So like I think this would be like a cool way to like share that with everybody, like in the Run Try Bike community. And so far the response has been pretty awesome.
Yeah, we can't wait to shout
what do you
people
think?
out at the end of this. We've got some great shout
What do you want
to? Sorry, you were saying, Joe?
Yeah. What do you think we should just get in and maybe talk about what we're listening to, you think?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, I could start by telling you some of the songs I've been listening to. So last week I did a really tough hill workout. It was one of those where you kind of like, after the 30-minute warm up, it was just like one of those regions. So it was like a 15-20% incline, and it was like 1 minute of like sprint up the thing and then like power hike down. But then you do them, and it's like the first couple suck, and then the next two are like, oh, ouch, and then the next two are like pretty tough too, and like, I just really had to throw on like some music to get me all pumped up, and for me right now the fix has really been like Rage Against the Machine, like Bulls on Parade, in the name, bit of Corn in there, and throwing in some other stuff too, like Whoop, There It Is, and like Pump Up the Jam. But it was quite a hill workout, man, and I think that the songs got me through it. What about you? What have you been listening to?
Yeah, first of all, props on like all the good new metal stuff too there. But well, thanks to you, you turned me on to NF, and all of the songs are great. But so I've been having to do a lot of road stuff, a lot of tempo work, kind of in the middle of my workout, or like a long run with tempo at the end. And I just need a banger just to get me through those. And the Search by NF has been my go-to lately when I kind of feeling like a hip hop sort of vibe. And also looking at a buddy's Instagram story the other day, I got turned on this band called Scratch the Surface, or this song called Scratch the Surface by Sick of It All. Shout out to Cody Lyman, actually. And so he got me into that. It's kind of like a thrash punk sort of thing, and that got me pretty worked up. And also I've been throwing in some like new metal techno-y stuff by Code Orange, and that's been kind of what's been replaying in my earbuds for the last maybe a week or so. But survival music.
No, I love it. Survival music is exactly what I would call it. Like, I think, especially for like NF, man. Like NF is the stuff that like when I'm like in the pain cave on a single track, just need like this pump up music. Like, for me, like, and NF is just such because like he's against rap style, but it's about mental health, it's about life. And you can relate to all of it. Like for me, The Search is one of my favorite songs of all time. I'm also a big fan of Clouds and Hope as well.
Yeah,
those are all really good, but it's really hard to miss with NF. Dude, tell me about Code Orange because that sounds really cool.
Oh, yeah, I think the first my first introduction to him was a song called "Swallow the Rabbit Whole," and it is just so like if you need a heavy song, it just comes out the gate. I mean, it'll just melt your face, and it's got like a new sound too. It's got kind of got a mix of like old metal and like new metal and like kind of like a Fear Factory techno metal sort of thing all put together. That kind of like a contemporary spin on it.
Ooh.
And I don't think I've heard a bad song from them yet. And like their like music videos are really cool too. Um, so definitely highly recommend. That's like if I'm trying to lift heavy, Code Orange is always in that mix somewhere on my lift playlist for sure.
Oh, keep that in mind for sure. Actually, I mean, I really like those bands. You know, I was just looking up Code Orange when we were talking in the green room. I really like the bands that are not from that era, but they kind of like replicate that era. Like it seems like they're kind of a newer, like the '90s and the 2000s new metal, and I kind of like
Yeah,
bands that are that you feel like they're from an era, but they're also kind of new. Like I think I think I mentioned a German band to you called KMFDM, and they're like huge on my list as well. Uh, they have
oh
a song called
yeah.
Megalomaniac that always gets me going.
Ooh.
It's just
I'll have to
like
add that to my.
my coach Peter introduced me to it. Yeah, I really love like I haven't missed so KMFDM. I just feel like the Germans know how to do metal, man.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, and they don't miss with any of their songs usually. And any of like the new metal or like some Norwegian metal even too. It's just like man, it's just start to finish. Every song of those usually just it hits you just right where you need it.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah.
You know, one thing I like about well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say one of the things that I really like about you, and I think both of us have in common, is that even though we have like um, songs that are, even though we're both kind of geared towards like rock and stuff, like we both are all kind of music hoarders in a sense. I think that makes us perfect for what we
Yeah.
do on this show, and I think it makes us more fun because we get so many shout outs and suggestions, which we'll have at the end. But you know, I love collecting music, and I like to get your thoughts on that. But before I do, we have a comment from called MCP Hunt or Hunt. I'm probably saying it totally wrong, but appreciate your comment. They say that Broadway. Any Leonard Bernstein is a good song, and Sondheim is pretty good too.
Ooh.
I haven't heard either of those, but I'll have to put those on the list. Yeah, that's going on the
Yeah, I
list
haven't
for
heard of
sure.
that. That'll definitely go on the list.
And
Yeah. So
guys,
going
you
to what you
know,
said earlier. Yeah.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to add to what you say about like I do the same thing. I like cherry pick music from other people and like kind of make my own little like playlist to keep. It's just like so I always enjoy hearing like those little like it's something I've never heard of. I love hearing about music that I've even if it's a band I never even heard of. I love that kind of stuff. So keep it coming, everybody.
Yeah, Joe is correct. One of our favorite parts of the show is going to be, and we will call this out again at the end, but one of the things we're going to do outside of this between the 2 weeks is listen to all the songs that we got. And I think that that makes us that much more fun because we both love to just collect music. We got a shout out a certain Jason Bahamundi who says he's a first time
Oh,
or a long time listener. The Pet Shop Boys kills. I'm out.
shout out to Jason. He's still repping the Pet Shop Boys too, and I love it. All right, you
Do
can't
you
hate the
know?
Pet Shop Boys. You can't.
You can't hate them. Do you know? Did he tell you the two phone? the only songs on his phone are the two songs by the Pet Shop Boys.
Oh man, I love that so much. Oh man, that's so good. have, have you seen that episode of How I Met Your Mother where they had the Pretenders song, or I think it's the Pretenders song over and over again in their car? I could just imagine Jason driving around the Pacific um, side of the country with just two songs on his playlist, and I think it was a Honda Pilot with just two songs on repeat everywhere he goes.
You know what cracks me up is I don't remember what car Jason had when he used to live in Phoenix, but I'm pretty sure it was like a Honda Pilot or an SUV. So that I'll bet you, I would imagine that he and Lori are both on the PCH, and the only thing that is on is the Pet Shop Boys. He says that is
Oh,
assuming
man.
that my radio actually worked.
Just
Honda
silence.
L, Honda Element.
How the element? Okay. Oh,
Close,
that is
close
so
enough.
awesome.
Um, one of the things I wanted to ask you, and I was wondering, you as somebody who's done a 50 miler and you just did 100K, the Momofo 100K, and you've gone like deep into the pain cave many times. I have to ask you, like, does certain music that you normally wouldn't listen to on a normal basis, like a day-to-day basis, hit you differently during those races? Like, I know for me, we talked about in the green room about like how maybe on a regular basis I wouldn't be listening to a Sia or a Britney Spears or Justin Bieber, but those songs really hit me like during the races, and I was wondering if you've had similar experiences as well.
Yeah. So I think I mentioned this before, but sometimes if I'm really deep in a pain cave, it's random, but I'll throw on some like kind of like Appalachia style, like high lonesome sound, like bluegrass. And I don't know why that when I'm like deep in a dark well, that just brings me out. Specifically, I found this song called Black Creek by Brent Cobb, and I've been like just absolutely up against it and been able to put that. It's like my rescue playlist, man. That song just pulls me out sometimes. So that's been my go-to, like my pain cave go-to, is some of his stuff, and some like Tyler Childers and stuff like that has been kind of on my pain cave playlist here lately. But yeah, sometimes you just have to have a good go to. It makes it, you wouldn't normally listen to it, but in the moment, it just like, it's just what you need. Yeah. Do you have anything that you go to that's like that?
Man, for me, I listen to a lot of movie tracks for sure.
Oh,
Some
nice.
that listen to like theme songs. Have you? I don't know if you've watched Cobra Kai, but there is a certain character in that show
Yeah.
that has like a real like a 80s synth type of like theme. Um, I, I don't know if you watched Cobra Kai, but the character's name is EY. He goes by Hawk,
Yeah.
and he's got like this really like theme song that just gets me like pumped up when I'm doing like even hill workouts in the cave, and I just need to feel like a badass. And sometimes it's like incredibly absurd, like it's movie theme songs like Back to the Future, Jurassic Park. A couple
Oh,
times, like
yeah.
there was one time I was doing a race, and there was literally a Toy Story fix for me, like the Toy Story soundtrack.
Man, no hate
Shout
at
out to
all,
Disney.
man.
Shout out to Disney, man. Disney has got the fix.
Oh, no kidding.
If you guys want a good cry song during an ultra, "Go the Distance" is one of them from Hercules.
Oh man, I'll have to add that to my repertoire. Yeah. I, oddly enough, my favorite movie soundtrack might be Forrest Gump. I mean, come on, like I know that's way off the beaten path, but I love that soundtrack.
Yeah, that's a good one. Do you have a
Right,
favorite
dude?
from
It's
that
like the most
soundtrack?
slept on movie of all time. But
It's so good. Do you have a favorite from
yeah,
Forrest Gump?
I like there's a lot of good Credence. There's a lot of good Credence on that soundtrack that I really like. It's and like some Marshall Tucker band too. I oddly enough, I love like Marshall Tucker. I grew up to that music. Growing up, my mom was a big vinyl album
There are.
collector, so we always talk.
That's really
Yeah,
cool. Um,
sorry, I think I lost it for a second.
there are. Oh yeah, no, I know. I know you mentioned Southern rock. Um, that one, for sure. I'll have to get your bluegrass playlist too over the next 2 weeks and start listening to that as well. Um,
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say like The Lion King definitely hits hard for me.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I forgot about how good Jurassic Park soundtrack actually is. Now that you mention it, I might have to add that to my list for sure. That'd be a good long run soundtrack.
It's so good. That and I don't know why this didn't cross my mind in the moment, but Indiana Jones definitely hits good too.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's got some good stuff, especially when you're on parts of the course that really and you want to feel like I'm on an adventure kind of vibe. Ooh, that reminds me, adventure. Lord of the Rings has got a great soundtrack for ultras.
Oh, yeah. I never thought about how well composed that like all that whole series is. Yeah, I could see that being really good too.
Uh, we've got a shout out from my friend Brian Pacenti, who's done Moab. He's been in endurance sports for probably like more decades than I've been alive. Sorry, Brian. He mentioned Zach Bryan as an artist. Also,
Oh
shout
yeah,
out to, you know, that's a great one. And also, shout out to Brian. He's got a story on our website as well. And about how he went from the troubled teen industry to 7 years sober. So, shout out to another sober brother out there.
yeah. What's up, Brian? Thanks for chiming in.
So, before we wrap up the show, uh, I just wanted to put out that call to action to everybody that we're going to have a lot of fun with this. And in the next 2 weeks, I want to see lots of music suggestions. We're going to try to get through everything we already have. And we're also going to try to get through all the music suggestions we get over the next 2 weeks. And,
Yeah,
Joe and I are going to have a lot of fun with it. And we have a lot of training miles to do. So it's
yeah,
going to be a lot of fun.
yeah. I look forward to this. This is going to be really cool. We've already got a good list going, and so this will be fun to see this build and see what everybody thinks. And I love exploring everybody's music, even if it's not my jam. Like I'll listen to it, and I mean I can appreciate everything as far as music goes. Um, it's a really cool way of getting to know somebody and like yourself too. Like you really understand what the more you know about music, the more you kind of understand like different nuances and different genres. And so I love exploring that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love music is like it's such a like powerful thing. It's just the way it like you're, people are able to have certain songs that like trigger something in your mind or your soul that
Yeah,
just gets you like going or makes you feel an emotion or brings people together. I just feel like music is one of those things that has like no borders, no languages. Like it's just a feeling, and
yeah,
it's going to be a lot of fun because there's not only music here in the States, but there's all kinds of cool music like overseas as well. And the list is just endless, and we could do this forever and not get through all of it. But we want to start by shouting out some of the people who have sent us their music already to listen to. And I'm going to turn that over to Joe.
yeah. So I'll start from the top here. We got Santa Monica by Everclear. I can't wait to listen to that. It's been a long time since I listened to Everclear, and that's from Cheryl Sanford. Thanks, Cheryl, for bringing that to us. We've
We love you,
got Fake
Cheryl.
Love Don't Last. Yeah, Fake Love Don't Last by MGK and Ian Dillon. That's from Lori. Thanks, Lori. This is great.
Shout out to
Dreams like
Lori.
yeah. What's up?
Caffeinated Coaching, episode 3 will come out in a few weeks. Shout out to Lori.
Yeah, highly recommend. It's her second episode was awesome. Like just getting to know her in that second episode. So everybody should definitely tune into that. Dreams by Fleetwood Mac by Ben Troy. Thanks, Ben. I love Fleetwood Mac. Um, Don't Stop Me by Queen. That's from Odina O'Neill, too. Odina's been a big part of Run Tribe Bike, too. Thank you, Adina. Adina, sorry. And then we've got Penny Lane by, hopefully I'm saying this right, Jay Van Ralty. And that's from, that came from Lisa Swim USA. Thank you, Lisa. I can't wait to listen to that too. And this one I just saw on like my buddy's playlist earlier this week, and that's "Scratch the Surface" by Sick of It All. And shout out to Conrad Lyman for letting me steal that from his story. uh, I saw that and I was just like, all right, I got to listen to this. But uh, so yeah, this is going to be a great playlist. I got a lot of miles to cover this week too. Some speed work. I got some trail work, so I can't wait to work these in. And I like to come up with like a cool rating system, like a cycling, like a long run, or like single track or speed work. I think it'd be kind of cool if we could come up with like something like that as we progress. But I'll have to see how this matures, I guess, and how it grows. And
Yeah, this
so,
is going to be cool, and I can't wait to see how this grows. And you know, your pronunciation of Ralt or Ralti kind of reminded me of something. When I first started, dating my girlfriend last year, and she got me into country music, which is a whole nother topic. I was never into country music, and so I started dating her. She introduced me to Shania Twain, but it
oh,
was my first
nice.
time ever hearing about Shania Twain. So, you want to know how I pronounce her name?
How's that?
Shania.
I mean, it does look like Shania though. It's like, yeah,
And
man,
it sounds fancy, doesn't it? And I mean, it
it
sounds
does sound
fancy. You
fancy.
didn't disagree that Shania is more fancy than Shania. So, Shania, if you're listening to this, you could take a suggestion from us and maybe throw a sponsorship our way.
Yeah, show me how to pronounce your name and like, man, Shania Twain's been around for so long, and just her whole body of work is, and it's still doing the thing. I like seeing longevity in music too. That makes me really happy.
Ooh,
So yeah,
yeah, yeah. I
cool.
mean, there's some artists who've been around for a long, long time, and respect to them. And like, um, it's also sad seeing some of those bands disband too. Like, I think it was Sum 41 that just
Oh
disbanded recently.
yeah, yeah. But and while they were here, they had some good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, don't want to end on a sad note here with
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
guys. So, be send your music to us. We want to listen to it. We're gonna put that out there over and over again. It can
yeah,
be anything that you listen to that sets your soul on fire, and we're excited to listen to it. And thank you for being a part of this first episode of What's in Your Earbuds on the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network, one of our 7 shows. And we're going to see you again pretty shortly for our fireside chat tomorrow with Robert Rodriguez, who was our cover athlete for our May
all
June
right.
issue. And then Wednesday, Joe and I got a chat on Beyond the Finish Line for a special episode about Tahoe 200. And
Stoked.
don't forget, we also have. I'm going to backtrack here a little bit. We got so many shows now. We have Running Tales episode 3 with Craig Lewis coming out tomorrow at 10 a.m. as well, 5 p.m. local UK time. So
Yeah, shout out to
lots of
Craig.
content. Yeah, big shout out to Craig, man. We got a great network, and we're bringing you some of the best human interest stories in endurance sports, and we're having fun with it. And um, just excited to have you guys on board. Thank you so much for being a part of this with me, Joe. And I can't wait to do this
Yeah,
again in 2 weeks. And I'm sure we're going to be texting how we feel about the songs in between. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
yeah. I'm really excited to dig into this. This is going to be cool.
All right, everybody, have a great rest of your afternoon. And we will see you again on the EAPN in not too long.
See ya.